Welcome to Joa Fitness Health Wellness Video Podcast, a space to ignite your day through positive conversations. We bring people that have created excellence in their life, sharing high vibration in their reawakening path.
Hello, my friends. You are listening to Back into Alignment. I'm so happy it's Friday and it's time to get knowledge about the spine. Thank you so much for visiting my podcast another week. My name is Joa Rivas and I am a yoga Pilates teacher since 2010 and I am a health educator because I had a back pain when I was 15 years old. I was diagnosed with scoliosis and my chronic back pain affected the regular activities of my life. After 10 years practicing yoga and Pilates, not only helped me my spine, I actually became a teacher and I've been doing so many therapies with chiropractors, physiotherapists, dentists, podiatrists to understand my body because our body works as a unit and our pain is our teacher. Today, I am welcoming a new doctor for 4 series and we have the first interview today. So I'm very excited, a little bit nervous as always, and excited, which is actually, it changes and it shifts my fear to happiness and to joy, to have this opportunity to bring amazing professionals. They're actually putting their knowledge and their work to help us to feel better. Thank you, Dr. Pecoraro. Pecoraro isn't an Italian last name?
Yes, that's Italian.
Yes, awesome. I kind of knew. I have a little bit of Italian in my blood, 56% to be more precise,
Oh, wow.
according to my 23andMe. And great, Ernest Pecoraro is in New Jersey. How are you, doctor?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me on today.
Great. Yes, it's July. We both in the north part of the world, and we love this season because it's summer season. So we get to be in contact with nature. We get to see our family outside. We get to walk our dogs. And it's so revitalizing this time. How are you doing in New Jersey? How is the season over there?
It's starting to get hot, but it's not that hot for the summer. But I think this next week, we're going to get more and more heat coming. That's for sure.
Yes, it's going to get hotter. And we are actually going deep into this conversation. But before we start, a conversation related to the EPIC therapy that you do, EPIC treatment, I wanted to go into a little bit of your story. Like, when did you have this feeling to become a doctor of the spine and the joints? And I remember I was reading your bio, and after practicing for so many years, you actually wanted to retire and you couldn't. Just like, no, this is my life. I'm not going to retire. This is it. Tell us a little bit about the very first year when you became passionate about movement and about chiropractic.
Well, when I was in college, I always wanted to be some type of doctor. And my older brother was a chiropractor. And I was working in the summertime and I hurt my neck and I couldn't move it. And he was just a student at that time, but almost graduating. He gave me an adjustment. I fell asleep. I woke up and I could move my neck. So that was very surprising to me.
And how old were you?
I was 18.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you just was finishing your high school?
Yeah, well, I was my first year of college.
Okay.
Yeah. So then I had a girlfriend at the time and she had headaches every day. And my brother adjusted her neck and she stopped having headaches. So I thought this was a more interesting way to practice and help people because it's drugless and you get people better naturally. So that really excited me.
Okay, so your brother, it seems like he was a big role model for you.
Yes, he was. In fact, when I first got out of school, I started practicing with him. And we practiced in Florida for a while, but then we went back to New Jersey, which is where we're originally from. So after that, he stayed in New Jersey and I opened a office in New York City in Lower Manhattan. And then over the years, I became successful. I opened 5 offices in New York City. So, and in
so you are a good
yeah.
entrepreneur. Beside the chiropractic practices, you also are a great entrepreneur. You have 5 right now. Do you still are running the 5 clinics?
No, I had it at the time. I actually retired in 2005 and moved to Florida because my wife wanted to go there. So we went there. And then about 2 or 3 years ago, my daughter, who was only 30 years old, hurt her back. And no chiropractors could help her, no acupuncturists, no medical doctors. She did all different things. She was almost a cripple for 2 years. So someone referred her to this doctor that did EPIC treatments. I went with her. He did a workup on her. He gave her this soundwave adjustment to her atlas, which is the first bone in the spine by the skull. And within 20 minutes, 70% of her pain was gone. Before she was bedridden, she could walk now, she can go shopping, all that. And I was so impressed with that I wanted to get back to being a chiropractor and helping patients because it's really very exciting.
So you actually treated your own daughter, which brought you back into the practice of helping the spine.
Well, I did treat her, but I couldn't help her, which was unusual. And then when I brought her to this doctor who did the EPIC treatment and developed that, that's when I got excited and I came back into chiropractic and opened up the first EPIC franchise in New Jersey.
Okay, so that's what I have to stop you about the EPIC technique. EPIC treatment, because I actually been searching about what you do and I actually never heard about EPIC treatment. And then I see that you're actually developing EPIC technique. And so is it EPIC treatment, EPIC technique the same? It's based from the same principles?
Same thing. Yes.
Okay. Can you actually give us information, like what are the principles of EPIC treatment?
The principles are that the atlas, which is the top bone in the spine, is a very important bone because it can move much more than any other vertebra in the spine. The way it is, it's like that because you need to turn your head in all different directions. So the joint of the atlas is so much different than all the other ones. All the other vertebrae have a slanted joint. It's like if you stacked a bunch of chairs on top of each other, they're very stable. Also, all the other vertebrae have discs in between to help stabilize it. So when the atlas goes out of place, because the spinal cord is where it comes out into the rest of the body, and all the nerves branch out from the spinal cord to all the organs and the muscles and blood vessels and control everything in the body. So the brain sends signals down the spinal cord. And if the atlas is out of place, it can stop some of those signals or slow them down or make them go faster, which is not good either.
Okay, so the EPIC technique, it goes along with the chiropractic practices. So basically it's just a way to only realign the neck area. No,
if you realign the atlas, it will affect the whole entire spine. Like people will come to us with sciatica or disc problems, and we just adjust the top bone, the atlas, and everything else will go into place and balance.
And you are commenting about the brain-body connection. And this is what I actually became more passionate like you, because from 15 to 25, I had chronic back pain, waking up and going to sleep with pain. Even though I was trying my best, doing my therapies, practicing yoga and Pilates, I still was going through the pain for 10 years. I was taking naproxen many times. I had to take some anti-inflammatories. It was so much. Then from 25 up to now, I'm 37. Tomorrow is my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yes. And it's been from 25 to 37. So it's been 12, right? 25, 35, yeah, 12 years with no pain. 2 months ago, I started feeling pain again. And I have a very high tolerance of pain because someone that has scoliosis, spine bifida, someone that has an spinal issue, we develop this high tolerance to pain. So after feeling pain for 8 weeks, I ignored it to a point that I could not turn anything, like turning, flexing, extending my back was a lot of, it was just pinching my spine. I got 2 MRIs, one in my cervical, one in my lower back, and through the results, I actually have arthritis, osteoarthritis, and I have 4 bulging discs and 1 sacrum sleep disc.
Mm-hmm.
All that, I was like, what? I had 12 years with no pain, only 8 weeks with pain, and then taking this thing. So now I'm again researching even more, even though I've been doing this podcast and I'm always about the spine. I've been researching more, and definitely we cannot disconnect our brain and body connection. There is a strong connection between our bodies. Like you say, the nerves are actually sending signals to every part of our body. And the very first part is to reconnect our brain and body. I was looking at the EPIC technique, and I really love the approach of the neurological sensors and physical parts of our body. So it's like all in at once. Can you please tell us, let's say if I come to you now, walk into your office, you just hear my diagnosis, would you like take me right away into an EPIC technique to adjust my neck? How does it actually work for somebody like me that has some like slip disc in my sacrum?
Well, what we would do first is do a consultation. And then from the consultation, we could get an idea if that problem is being caused by the atlas being out of place. Then we would do an examination and a physical examination to see if the atlas is causing, for instance, spasm in the low back, if your center of gravity is off, which many people's are. And then we do very specific x-rays when we have to position the patient so they're in the right position. When we take the x-ray, the atlas is like in their normal position for them at that point. Then we do a lot of markings, and we have a spinal engineering software where it takes into consideration that person's anatomy, because people have different sizes of bones, and one side could be higher than the other. So we'll, like, a tilted head may be right for somebody, and for somebody else it isn't. So we take all that into consideration, and we put it into the spinal software. We get these calculations, which we then will put into the adjusting instrument, and we have a sound wave that we point to the atlas and put it back into that person's spine. Yeah.
So sound wave will be one of the therapies.
Yes.
But then the beginning, there is a lot of assessment and screening to understand the body.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, that's super interesting. I went to, I checked some of the videos of what EPIC techniques looks like. And I love that. It's like, yes, they're working with what I've been researching for the last 2 years, which is visual training, neuromuscular activation, jaw release of the TMJ, and all these. So actually, I love this approach, and I was actually excited to get to talk to you and to hear from you how revolutionary is this approach to the spine. And I wanted to know a little bit more, as we are chatting about the connection of our brain and our body. What would be the missing point of almost every chiropractor that you have, because you've been doing so many decades of working as a chiropractor? What do you think is the missing point in the school of chiropractic? Like, because you got to a point to learn about the neck after, when your daughter had this issue, it brought you this idea. Oh, okay, this is so interesting. I want to go back to work. So tell me a little bit about that. Like, if you could create a curriculum for chiropractors or physiotherapists, what would be the top 3 subjects that everyone should practice?
I would make sure everybody understood how all the blood vessels and the nerves to the brain come through the atlas, and how if the atlas is moved in certain ways, it could impede the blood flow to the brain. Because there's the internal carotid artery that feeds the brain, the vertebral artery that feeds the brain actually goes through a hole in the atlas. And there's the internal jugular vein, which brings the blood away from the brain back to the heart to get oxygen again. And besides that, there's the cerebral spinal fluid. Like your movement will pump cerebral spinal fluid, which brings nutrients to the brain, and then it uses it up, and then it has waste products, and then it pumps it out. So if the atlas is out of place, it kind of causes a backlog sometime in the brain, can cause all different types of problems in the brain, including trigeminal neuralgia, which is a severe facial pain, headaches, even multiple sclerosis, things like that.
Okay. So you were talking about the vessel part. What about the vagus nerve? I actually had great dentists and specialists related to the spinal connection to our brain through the vagus nerve, and how a restricted neck that has no mobility will also affect the vagus nerve. So maybe we can talk a little bit about this, how this could actually revolutionarily change the approach of spinal health.
Yes. Well, the vagus nerve can be affected because it's very close to where the atlas is. And it travels down, goes to the heart and different organs, things like that. In fact, my father, when I was in chiropractic school, got congestive heart failure very badly, where everything backs up because the heart is not strong enough to push the blood through the blood vessels. So I used to come once a week to adjust his atlas when I was in school, and you could actually see after the adjustment his heart pumping. You could see his chest moving in and out and his breathing getting quicker. So it really helped him. And within a year, he was totally back to normal by doing a diet and exercise along with the adjustments.
Mm-hmm. And then you also commented about the sound wave, right? You also is one of the therapists. The sound wave is just superficial. How is it applied in the patient?
There is a stylus where it's a mechanical metal on metal, and it hits it and it causes a sound wave to come out the stylus. So it doesn't even touch your skin. It's pointed at the atlas and the exact coordinates that it needs to put it back to its proper place for that person. The person doesn't even feel it. It's very interesting. So we do the adjustment. People say, "You adjusted me?" We say, "Yeah." And they can't feel it, but they'll get up, and some, like people with TMJ, will say, "I feel my jaw already loosening up. I feel the pain going away." People, like one woman had pain in her low back all the way down to her ankle, and she had pain in her ankle. When we adjust the atlas, immediately she said, "All the pain has gone in my ankle." You know, people have pain in their knees because everything is imbalanced, because there are nerves that go around the atlas and go up into the brain, the part of the brain that controls the balance of the spine by the muscles on each side of the spine. So if it's off balance, the atlas, then it will throw the lower spine off balance from signals going to the brain. And that's where people will develop because they don't even know. Like for you, you know, you were feeling good, but then you probably were off balance because your atlas was out, and it could be putting pressure on one side of the disc and not the other, and could cause bulging discs and things like that. But you may not feel anything for years until.
Well, to be honest, I actually had a car accident in 2011, and I had an MRI. Last time I got an MRI, it was 2011 after my car accident. And I was diagnosed with a C5 and C7 nerve impingement that was affecting my left arm all the way down to my fingers. And up to now, if I wear a backpack or something that is really compressing my shoulder, it comes back. Or if I'm standing for too long with my arms hanging, it comes back. And sometimes the pain is really bad. It's like I don't know how to describe. It's more like a heated sensation that is burning my arm, or it's like too cold or too cold or too hot. And I feels like somebody is like cutting me with a knife. So it's actually very painful sometimes. And I have to take anti-inflammatories on those days when I can't do much. So it's been since 2011. So perhaps, like you're saying, maybe that was not addressed because I just ignored it after, right? So maybe I didn't. I practice neck flossing. I practice, I kind of completely remove chin-ups, because every time I do chin-ups, it comes back badly to when I exercise. But still, I totally see that the cervical, it plays a big role in the entire spine. And after interviewing doctors related to the TMJ, tongue release, tongue posture, and the vagus nerve, every time I have a doctor, it just gives me more and more confirmation that the neck, it cannot be ignored at any point. Now that you're actually talking about EPIC technique, it brings more content related to this. So it's so exciting to have a doctor that is giving us new information. I love this because if you actually go back to last year in this season, I had Dr. Johal. She's an expert in tongue posture for newborns, because it happens that when babies born, women, sometimes they don't know how to breastfeed them. So they breastfeed them with the position of the neck wrongly, or the baby is sleeping in a wrong position, and then you can have a baby that is snoring. A baby that is snoring is not normal. It's doing mouth breathing. Mouth breathing will change all the microbiome. It will develop most likely sleep apnea in the future. So there is so many things related to this that actually for me, it just excites me to know, because we don't know what we don't know. And when we know, it becomes your power, right? So thank you so much, Ernest. I love to know more about you. And I wanted to know, you sound like a very positive and very good spirit. I wanted to know you as a human. What is your affirmation that you live this week or this month? Any affirmation that you tell yourself to just be positive in those moments that you feel a challenge?
Well, I just always know that the more persistent you are to help someone, because a lot of doctors will give up at some point with hard patients. I have the attitude that eventually that'll get better, just like my daughter. We just have to find the right thing for that person. And I know this technique works really well, and I've had such great success with it. I just want more and more people to know about it.
Yes. As I was looking at about the technique, it gave me so much light. It's like, exactly like you say, be persistent with the support that you give into others, or with your action, because at the end, it will give the outcome that everybody is waiting for, especially for the spine. Sometimes we give up and we're like, okay, we're gonna live in pain, and that could actually affect your actions and your performance at work. Now, if you want to get in contact with Ernest, he's in New York and in New Jersey, and he has, I'm sure he has social media. Why don't you just share with us your social media?
Well, we're on EPIC Seegert at epicseegert.com on Instagram.
And also, I'm going to share with everybody all the social media in the chat box and the notes. And also, I think he has a special gift this summer. Tell us a little bit what you want to share with everyone.
Well, I'm so excited about this technique, and I've seen such miraculous things happen with people. Just just yesterday, I had a woman with severe TMJ for 3 years. And with one treatment, most of her pain was gone. So it's so exciting to me. I want to offer your audience a free phone consultation. They can go to epicclinic.co, and they can sign up for a free consultation, get more information also.
Exactly. Well, that's an awesome giveaway. So you guys, please check that, especially if you are suffering and you haven't found that specific professional helping you. I never stop until I find relief or I find a path. It's just like a roadmap. If I know where I have a solution, I just follow the steps and the actions. So Dr. Pecoraro, thank you so much. Again, his website is GOEPIC clinic.co. So GOEPIC clinic.co. And he's going to give you a phone call consultation. And perhaps if you are in New Jersey, get to see him in person, because most of this work is done in person, but having a consultation perhaps will motivate you to take a flight to see him in New Jersey. So thank you so much. We're going to have another talk next week, and we want to continue with the exploration of our spine. If you have any comments, we would love to hear your comments. If you have any questions for next week, we would love to hear them, because this content is for you. Thank you so much. And if you want to check, thank you so much. Thank you much, Ernest. If you want to check my website, it's joafitness.com. And I have a big celebration this month with my birthday. And what I do every birthday is to have outdoor, I do an outdoor yoga class, and I collect funds for 1,500 kids in Venezuela from Banda Azul. These kids, I used to support them with shoes and with materials for the school, but at this moment, what they need the most is food. So we collect money to buy rice, plantains, and eggs, which give them most of the nutrients that they can find in Venezuela. So thank you so much. I would love to see you here in Toronto in the Coronation Park on July 31st. If you are around in Toronto, please send me a message and I will send you all the details for everybody to come and share that sunset yoga together. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day. And remember that together we are stronger. Thank you so much, Dr. Ernest.
Thank you for having me on.
We invite you to subscribe to this channel and share with your community. Please leave comments below, and if you like the episode, click the like button. Have a beautiful day.